Hello guys, this is Aiden07 here, and
Today.
I'm going to talk about my middle school. So for context, my middle school was a huge mess. It was located in a really poor neighborhood in the city, and we had a lot of drugs, we had the police coming in. It was a mess. When you entered the place, the first main building was already like filled up with decorational bricks, but some of them fell off and they didn't bother to replace them. Since we were given computers from like the 90s, the early 2000s, we had to bring our own keyboards and mouses because the ones that the school had were broken. We had no like very bad material in general. We had like those old projectors that were not working. It was really a place that was clearly underfunded. So probably people who are watching this from like poor parts of Asia and Africa are going to say that, we didn't have anything in our classroom. But knowing that this is like supposed to be a developed country, this is like sad because there is money to buy all of this stuff, but it wasn't bought. The high school was opened by the king himself. Like the king here, he went in and opened the school back, I think it was back in the 90s or something like that. So knowing all of that, let's start with the drama.
Some drama is about to happen!
So this was in 8th grade. We were like around 13, 14, like something like that. So you have to understand that we were still not yet into, we were not mature at all. This drama was really something else. Probably today's kids are like going to relate more to this because this happens like every day in their school. But in my personal experience, this has never happened anywhere else. This drama started like nobody expected. Like this was not something that was, you know, going behind the scenes and everyone knew. No. So we go to school and it was the technology class. The teacher is giving his explanations, whatever, and all of a sudden the door opens up and police and the principal is out there and like saying, "Hey, Boris," which was one of the guys. He was like kind of, he was a kid who always got into trouble, and I will explain why that is so relevant later. So he was basically, "Please, Boris, come out," and he had to, take all of his things and go with the principal and the police. There were two policemen, and one of them had like the handcuff, and then later people started talking about it, and it resurfaced that Sarah did something to him. So we didn't know much about Sarah. I personally knew just a little bit more than everyone else. She was just your average girl. She wasn't from the area. She was like she came in late. I came in late as well, but I came in elementary school. So this was a group that was in the same elementary school, in the same middle school, in the same high school. Everyone went through all of that. She had some friends, but she wasn't really that popular. People were like, people didn't know what this woman was all about. My best friend is like talking with someone else, and I was also talking to them, and they like what they were saying that Sarah sent a masturbation video to Boris and that she was blackmailing him with it because she was saying, "Hey, you have a masturbation video of me. It's a crime to have any underage video of that nature, and you can go to jail for a very long time." So she was blackmailing him that, "Hey, you have this video of me, so my mom is going to tell the police about that, even though she's the one who sent it. So why did she send the video?" So later, much later, we knew more details, but at the time, we actually had the information that Sarah liked Boris a lot. Like randomly, one day, she followed him into the male bathroom, and while he was doing his business, she basically put herself like with hands on the floor like a dog. She wanted to basically suck his genitalia. So this whole mess then later led to Sarah sending like a revenge masturbation video to him and two of his friends, who were also known to be the troublemakers at the school, and they got expelled many times. But what we did not expect is for it to turn like this. And what is worse is that her best friend went and told me that Sarah invited her to hang out in the mall, and then she arrives there and Sarah tells her that, hey, there is a guy waiting for us in the bathroom. Do you want to have sex with him and me? Her best friend has decency and integrity, or at least had at the moment, and she said no. And Sarah basically told her, hey, wait for me for like half an hour or 20 minutes. And she went to the bathroom with this guy. So she was basically a thought. This all at 13, by the way. So what the girls wanted to do, like my best friend included, more girls, like what they wanted to do is basically run out of the classroom and beat her ass. So the girls started punching walls, they started punching out of anger, punching walls, punching cupboards, whatever we had, like desks, pens. Some of them had to go to the hospital later to, because they had their hand was screwed up. In the end, it didn't really make effect because one of the girls ended up escaping because we had a change in classes and the English teacher came out, and then we had like five teachers in the classroom coming on to like calm the girls and whatever, and some of them were expelled. My best friend was expelled for like 2 days. I think it wasn't worth it to get expelled for this woman, for Sarah, but whatever. So in the end, Sarah was basically expelled for 3 months. I don't know what happened to Boris. I think he was expelled for like 1 month. The guys that were also sent the masturbating video but didn't really participate in anything, they were not expelled. I think they came back a couple of days later. And Sarah was basically expelled. I mean, obviously, she destroyed not only her reputation, but the reputation of her father and mother. Her parents were actually like really well perceived by the community here. And then this happened, and like they didn't even come to anywhere close the school, and they actually transferred her to another school. So this is it for Sarah. This is it for this drama.
Not this.
So the next drama is about the disabled girl and a classmate of mine. So we had a group of disabled students, most of them not physically disabled, but like mentally disabled, autism and stuff like that. So these students were part of the program where they were given basic education with construction and gardening skills. And basically, after completing, they could work in those specific areas. We were at the time like 14, 15, and these students were anywhere from 16 to 20 something. Some of them were like younger, some of them were older, and the nerds. At this time, we didn't have like furries and stuff, but we knew who would be the furries of the class. Like we all knew. So one of the main leader of the nerds, let's say that, whose name let's name him Jack for. So Jack was interested in one of the girls from this disabled group. So like every time we had physical education, everyone was complaining about Jack. And Jack had to go to the like bottom of the class. He had to go to all the way like way far away from everyone else in the classroom so that everyone else could breathe because he was extremely sweaty and extremely stinky. This is something that has to be said, I'm sorry, but everyone was complaining about it after physical education. So Jack was really interested in like the one of the disabled girls. I seriously don't remember how her age. I don't even think I know about her age. They were like friends and they were like, playing, the nerds and the disabled crowd. It was just a regular relationships. But then one day we discovered that Jack and this disabled girl had sex in the bathroom. Unprotected sex in the bathroom. So they had sex in the bathroom. How did we know this? So actually, we as students and his classmates, we didn't know about this first. The first person who knew about this was the principal himself. Because we had cameras put in the entry of every building. So the high school was huge, 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 huge. And it was a lot of buildings sparsed away. And like at the entry of every building, we had a camera, a surveillance camera. And the bathroom in this particular case was just in the beginning of the building. The camera, since it was pointing, it was just in the entry. Obviously, you didn't see inside the bathroom, but you could see who was entering and exiting the bathroom. This was very important for, because people smuggled cigarettes, drugs, the typical stuff. In the end, it was a mess because the principal found out first. It leaked kind of through me because another of my best friends had a friend who was close with the principal because they were working together with bullying, with like, he was like this excellent student who was helping people with bullying and stuff like that. So he was working with the principal. So the principal told him about this. He leaked the information to one of my best friends. So she leaked it to me. She told me that everything with details, what happened, how they found out, and later we actually find out that he came out of that day. That day, we remember that he came out sweaty after the break. This was during the break. They went together to the bathroom, and then later they came out like 35 minutes. There was some weird ass issue going on with the bathroom, and so people didn't be there. People went to another bathroom. I think Jack was expelled for like a month. I don't know anything else about what happened with the disabled girl, but I haven't seen her in the rest of the year. And obviously, it was really another yikes story. So I decided to ask one of the girls who were in the nerd club, like, she didn't confirm me that it was him, but she did confirm me that one of the people who was in the nerd group, who she knew about, went that day to have sex with this girl at that bathroom. So we know that this story is 100% true. There are more stories about the middle school that I have. These were the two major ones. So tell me in the comments if you like this type of video, any suggestions, subscribe if you want to see something like that, but with like high school, with like college, because I have a lot of these stories going on and it is crazy. Like, people are nuts. Also, tell me about your crazy middle school stories just down below in the comments, and see you in the next video.